Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the End of Day Report with yours truly, Dex, the Algo Capitalist, aka the Vulcan, coming to you live from PulseWaveTrading.com, home of the world famous PulseWave price trigger reports that we place in your hand each and every trading day. Well, today was full of volatility, but for the most part, kind of boring, in my opinion. But let's take a look at what it's shaping up for tomorrow. All right, in no uncertain order, you know how we do. The first chart we have here up in front of us, we're going to get it up. Let me just finish putting all my stuff together here. Give me just a second. All right, here we go. All right, so this is UVXY. All right, this is the ProShares Ultra VIX short-term futures ETF. As you can see, it has been in a bull market for a while. Then now we've turned into a bear market. So you can see very narrow trading ranges on a daily basis. Nothing really happening. But if you look closely, we started this week off coming into it with a rally alert. And we're waiting to get production to see if we can get back up towards the trend line resistance and then possibly the bottom of the Kumo cloud. And it doesn't look to be the case. Market looks like it's trying to do something, but in order to get back up to this $30 to $35 handle, at least you got the bullish weekly trend momentum reading coming up, but it's going to have to really move, which means that the stock market's really going to have to take a tumble like it did back here when this thing exploded and rallied all the way to $135. And now here we are at $22. So yeah, this right here, the UVXY rallies when the stock market is, bearish and falling. All right, taking a look here at silver futures, as you can see here on this daily chart, the market has, so these are soybeans. I always get the two symbols mixed up because silver is SI, soybeans here is S. All right, so taking a look here on soybeans, you can see it's starting to break out and do so in a type of parabolic fashion. We were in a bear market. We crossed over now to a bull market, and the market is running, and we're just getting more and more upside production from the rally alerts back here. All right, from the primary and secondary rally alerts. All right, which is another way to say major and minor rally alerts. This here being the major, this here being in the minor or primary, secondary. So the market keeps on giving. So if you're long this market, you've been trading using the pulse waves, this is the time to continue to move your stops to lock in profit on the way up. Taking a look now at wheat futures. All right, so we came into today with a crash alert on tap, which is right here. All right, we had this crash alert, and we're waiting to see if we were going to get any downside production. Now, I must tell you, we did not. No downside production. Market decided it was going to rally, make a bearish pointer, and then fall back down. We do have the bullish weekly trend momentum reading, so perhaps the market's not ready to pull back yet. And that selling that we saw was possibly some profit taking that the system was picking up. So now the market wants to go back up. So we'll see if the bears come back in and try to sell this rally, or is it going to be a little bit different this time? The tail of the tape shall reveal all. Taking a look now at the Dow futures. So we have a crash alert now for tonight into tomorrow's trading. All right, that's a bona fide crash alert. The last one we got was productive. The one before that too was also productive. Are we going to pull back to this 27,000 trend line support? Is this another test of the strength of the bull market? Or could we be hitting a major resistance zone as we close in near the 30,000 mark one more again? So we will see what happens on this one. Looking at the Aussie dollar. The Aussie dollar right now, let's see. We had this rally alert coming into this week. Still got a little bit more upside production today. Right now, the market just keeps producing. If you're long this market using the pulse waves, you're definitely going to want to start popping your way through this so that you don't turn the profits into losses. Canadian dollar keeps breaking down. So we had this secondary crash alert, and the market's just been giving us mad production to the downside. And this one doesn't look like it's quite done yet. Canadian dollar's just showing weakness. U.S. dollar index. So U.S. dollar index looked like it was going to try to correct, but instead we've broken back down again, threatening to get into that 91 handle. The market just ain't ready yet. Maybe this is a longer term base formation. I don't know. Right now, though, it's looking like it may put in a major down leg here. So again, nothing but a wash, rinse, repeat. This is the last crash alert we've gotten, and the market is already starting to give downside production. The one before that was here. So we're getting that downside production. The market is breaking down, and I just don't see an end in sight on this one yet. Looking at the euro dollar. All right, so the euro dollar coming into this one. You can see here, this one is consolidating up here. It doesn't know what it wants to do. It's running up against resistance, then it pulls back. So here's the weirdness. Had the rally alert here, secondary rally alert. Market didn't get any production, came down and pulled back, based out, then tried to push rally back up again. We're still not getting any upside production, but we also haven't had any new signals. No new signals. The market is just setting up here, and the system's been setting, holding on the long side of the market, waiting to see if we're going to get that upside production. And right now, I have to tell you, it's looking like, patience may win this race, because this thing is still up in the air. The trade is still to the long side of the market. The market is still bullish. All right, momentum is still there. I think this one wants to go to 112, like I've been saying. I mean, that's not 112, 120, like I've been saying. So I think we're about to hit that, maybe even into this week. All right, so the euro yen also has been strong. All right, so we came into today with another rally alert, got a little bit more upside production. We had the first one back here. Market also kind of in a holding pattern on the bullish side of the spectrum. So the bias is still looking to the bull side. The pound sterling, same scenario here. The bias is to the bull side of the market. Momentum is bearing you out. The bullish weekly trend momentum reading is also bearing you out. So the play is still to the long side of the market. The Japanese yen, again, the trade here is still to the long side of the market. Market is not selling off or breaking down like you would think, but it is a longer term consolidation up here too. But being that the market is ceasing to fall and we're in a bear market, I'm saying that the bias is still to the upside on this one as well. Very interesting setups that we're coming up to today. All right, this is one that came in by request. This is the ETPMAG. That's E as in Edward, T as in Tango, P as in Paul, M as in Mark, A as in Alpha, G as in George. And this looks to be on the Australian exchange. It's called the Metal Securities Australia Physical Silver ETF. Doesn't look like it has a lot of volume or open interest or whatever, but just coming into it, I mean, yeah, the volume is kind of light on the volume side, but you can see here it's been trying to keep pace with silver futures. A lot of gappage though, a lot of gappage. So I see this one's going to have to at some point come down and fill this gap here. But again, the trade is still right now, the bias is still to the long side of the market, even though you're in a bi-weekly correction. Bullish momentum could cause this thing to break through upper resistance and get up to maybe 40. So this is one that if you're long this market, you definitely want to watch, because you do got some gappage that is problematic. Doesn't mean we can't take off for another leg up before we correct, but you're going to want to correct sooner rather than later. The longer it takes to correct, the more deeper the correction and the more longer lasting, meaning that it could be a KO knockout where the market can't get back up. Always remember that. Mexican peso. All right, so the Mexican peso has a rally alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. Right now, the trade is to the long side of the market, as it looks like the market wants to retrace back up toward that trend line resistance. So definitely keep your eyes open for that one. Okay, next we got Nat Gas. So Nat Gas had a crash alert coming into today. Market did give that nice downside production, and we're looking for more production as we have this bearish pointer now. I think this one wants to correct back down to trend line support around the $2.10 mark. Looking at the New Zealand dollar now, Kiwi, crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. Trend line support is the initial target there. All right, the South African Rand, we have a rally alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. On this one, trend line resistance overhead is the initial target. Secondary target is the top of the Kumo cloud. The bearish weekly trend momentum reading could put a cap on the upside potential, but that's not always the case. Looking at ABC, Bitcoin Cash, we have a crash alert now for tonight into tomorrow's trading, with the trend line support being the initial target. Looking at the mighty Bitcoin. So Bitcoin right now, the trade is to the long side of the market under a multi-week corrective state. Looks like the market's ready to put in a bottom and get back up to the top side again. We'll see. This is a good test because we started getting some upside production from the rally alert coming into today, and now this one is poised to make another run at the highs. But if it fails, then 10,005 would be the next downside target. So in this next upward thrust, the momentum is going to have to be enough to get us there. If it cannot, then we roll and we fall to 10.5. So it's a do or die. That we're going to 12.5 or we're going to 10.5. And that's the way this Bitcoin is looking. All right, taking a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum also, we're getting upside production from. Came in with this rally alert here. Market gave us that upside production. Now we're looking for more production for tonight into tomorrow's trading. We have now a secondary rally alert on this one. Looks like this one's going to try to get back up and test the 450, 460 mark. So Ethereum is looking strong here. Looking at Litecoin, Litecoin has a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading with the trend line support down here, looking to be the initial target. Looking at XRP Ripple, we have a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. Trend line support is the initial target there. Next, we have the ZRX. All right, ZRX has a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading with a negative, a bearish weekly trend momentum reading. Trend line support here is also the initial target. Looking at the E-mini S&P 500, we have a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. Trend line support down here around that 3,300 level is the initial target, which means we could see a very, very deep pullback. The higher the markets go, the longer they take to pull back, the deeper the pullbacks usually get. Gold, the trade is still on the long side of the market as the market is giving us upside production from the rally alert back here. And I think we're going to get another run at the overhead resistance. I think we'll get back above 2,000. Bullish weekly trend momentum seems to so far be laying the foundation for that. Taking a look here at the NASDAQ 100. As you can see, the market is still giving upside production from the last rally alert, and the trade is still to the top side. So if you're long this market, definitely trail your open positions there. Looking at crude oil futures, the trade is to the downside. Waiting for the fulfillment and downside production of the crash alert here, with the trend line support around the $40 mark being the initial target. Next up, we got the Russell My Hustle, which has been kind of consolidating up here. The trade, though, is still to the downside of the market. Here's your primary crash alert, secondary crash alert, waiting to see more downside production as the trend line support is the initial target there. Taking a look now at silver futures. Silver futures, the trade is still to the long side of the market. We got multiple rally alerts here with the bullish weekly trend momentum reading. I think silver wants to make another run back at 30. So that's going to be our initial target on this one, which is 30. And last but not least, we got corn. So corn has a crash alert for tonight into tomorrow's trading. I think the trend line support around the 340 mark is the initial target on this one. All right, so that's what we got here. Let me see. All right, we got 2 more requests and then we'll wrap it up. All right, so the next one here is NAK, N-A-K, which is Northern Dynasty Minerals. All right, so this one coming into today. All right, giving us more upside production from the rally alert right here. The trend line resistance, overhead resistance, is the initial target as this market is filling the gap and looking to get back higher here, because we got the momentum is trying to turn up. We came off of the negative trend momentum reading. Now we're starting a bullish weekly trend momentum reading, which could help elevate prices back up toward that trend line resistance. But if it fails, then this rally will be sold and we'll get a crash alert and this thing could drop severely. So it's a do or die moment. It needs to take advantage of the current trend momentum readings that are coming into play on NAK. All right, last but not least, we got ETHE. All right, this is the Ethereum ETF. We already looked at Ethereum. Looking rather bullish, but the ETF is moving in the opposite direction of the Ethereum. So right now, this one's really not tracking well with Ethereum. This one has a crash alert, and we're starting to get some downside production. This is suggesting that this one wants to drop much further, very significant, as we're putting in a new leg down on the Ethereum ETF. The ticker is ETHE. So this one's looking rather bearish. Nothing bullish on here whatsoever. The trade is still to the short side of the market with rallies being sold. All right. And last but not least, we will do Facebook and then we'll wrap it up. All right. Here is Facebook. All right. So for Facebook, here's how we're shaping up. We came into the week with a crash alert, primary crash alert. And we're waiting for downside production. So the trade is to the short side of the market. And the trend line support around the 255 level is our initial target. It should be noted that we still got this bullish weekly trend momentum reading, which is why the prices are just kind of hanging out up here and not correcting or pulling back. But the last crash alert, we did get a little downside production on that one. The one before that, we got a nice downside production. Every major crash alert, primary crash alert, has been productive. So we'll see what happens here on this one. But I don't think you can defy you know, the laws of physics, but only for so long. All right, so that's pretty much it, man. That's all we got. Got a lot of rally and crash alerts on the list for tonight and tomorrow's trading. So definitely take heed to that. I think we're going to start seeing some of that bearing us out. And you just want to make sure you're on the right side of the market. So when that comes, you can be proactive and do what you need to do. So remember, PulseWaveTrading.com. That's where you go so you can participate, so you can come break bread with us and learn how to trade these markets and develop a income stream for yourself. And with that being said, remember, bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back. And I am out. Peace.